Hey, everybody, good evening. Welcome to If You Don't Like That. We've got a lot going on. NFL, college football to talk about, the baseball playoffs. Aaron Judge just seconds ago hit a three-run homer in the fourth to tie the game in New York against the Jays at 6-6. If the Yanks lose, their season's over, so they are on life support. Again, Judge with an 0-2 pitch drilled it to left field for a three-run shot, and we are now 6-6. Mariners all over the Tigers. Looks like they go up 2-1 there. Kings in action tomorrow, taking on the Toronto Raptors. So we've got that to talk about and anything else you want right here on If You Don't Like That. Hope you had a chance to check out today's show on Fox Sports Sacramento. Jerry Reynolds, show in Salisbury we're on. Always fun. What do you want to talk about today? Hit me up on the chat line, and we will answer any questions that you may have. Always want to say thank you to my sponsors, Sunrise Landing in Colusa. You go to ColusaSunrise.com. You can check out everything at Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. Remember, these models are beautiful. 6 to choose from, no Mellorews, no homeowners, adjacent to the Colusa Golf and Country Club. Easy access, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Go to ColusaSunrise.com and you get all the information on Sunrise Landing. Again, glad to have you with us here on If You Don't Like That. No Kings Court tomorrow. Rhino's going to be at Kings Shoot-Around, their first of this young season, the first preseason game, as the Kings get ready to test out what they've been working on in practice against the Raptors, who played the other night in Vancouver. So, happy to talk about whatever you want. Send me a couple of messages. If you want to call the show, you've got the QR code right over that. It says, Dennis, the Kings say that all players are available for tomorrow's preseason opener against Toronto. And if they weren't, what's the big deal? It's preseason. But yes, that is true. I guess the good news is there's no injuries. Thoughts on your top five? Lions, Bills, Colts, Bucks, Eagles. I'm fine with that. I would have had the Niners in there over Tampa. I mean, that could change, but right now I would have the Niners over Tampa. Tampa's barely won against three really bad teams. Now, do the Raptors have more length than the Kings? We'll find out tomorrow, depending on who they play, how they work out that game. We'll have to wait and see. I don't make too much out of preseason games. It's a necessary evil. I don't read too much into them. So no matter what happens tomorrow, I'm not going to go gaga one way or the other. I'm more curious to see how Neek looks, Max Reynaud looks. I want to see Isaac Jones play. I already know how the veterans are going to play. I don't need to see Dennis Schroeder play in a preseason game, or Zach LaVine or DeRozan or Sabon. I mean, I already know how they're going to play. I'm not worried about those guys. I want to see the young pups play. I want to see how they do against NBA caliber competition. So it's not a big deal to me. I know a lot of fans make a big deal out of preseason. I don't care if you win. Doesn't matter to me what the score is. I want to see a team not get injured. That's it. You know, I really mean that. I don't get carried away in 4 preseason games, because the reality is nobody's going to be talking about the preseason in a week or two. All right? Nobody. What's up there, John? How are you? Thanks for checking in here on the stream. Don't forget, tomorrow, no Kings Court. We will have sound from Shoot Around tomorrow on the show. Olden Polynice, former King, now with Fox Sports as a NBA analyst, will be with me during the show tomorrow. No, I don't need to be positive. No, I don't. I can be whatever I want. I don't need to be positive. I can be objective. If you take that as being negative, then so be it. My job is not to be positive. My job is to be opinionated. My job is to stimulate conversation. My job is to tell you what I think's going on. I don't need to be positive. What's up? Good to have you on the stream. Thank you very much. Do I think Fox is going to fire Mark Sanchez if the accusations are true? Yes. But then again, Richard Sherman is on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. How does he maintain his job? I mean, good Lord, look at his arrest record. So, I mean, Who knows? Who knows? Grant, the Rockets look really good. Yeah, I had Sean Salisbury on from Houston today talking about that. See how the absence of Fred VanVleet is going to impact on that team. Sean is great, isn't he, Sean Salisbury? He's great. Fabulous. Ryan has done great with the Kings coverage so far. I would agree with you. He's been outstanding. As long as you're happy, Grant, that's all that matters. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Mark Sanchez should be in prison. You know what? He might be. It's a good point. He might be in prison. We'll have to wait until this investigation is complete. He may very well, John, after he goes through the court and the judicial system. It's unlikely, but that's possible. It's possible, you know. It defies logic and belief that a guy getting ready to announce an NFL game would be out at that hour drunk and take a 69-year-old man and body slam him and want to create bodily harm if the allegations are accurate. And they appear to be, but I'm going to wait. I think DeRozan will be traded by the deadline. He may very well be. He may very well be. I don't disagree with that. I could see that definitely happening. Definitely could see that happening. Really could. When the Yankees lose, am I going to do a rant? Depends how they lose. And I mean, to me, Toronto's a better team. I said that at the beginning of the playoffs or beginning of this series. What's up, Grant? One day closer to Kings opening night, one of my favorite days of the year. How are you, sir? Good to see you, Dorian. Good to have you on. Appreciate you. Did you hear Jerry Reynolds today? What a treasure, huh? Guy's great. Is Boone done in New York? If I were owning the team, he would have been done years ago. If I owned the team, Brian Cashman would have been done years ago. But obviously, Hal Steinbrenner loves him. So I would go in a completely different direction. Completely different direction. We'll see what happens. This series is not over yet. It takes 3 wins. Right now, it's 6-6. All right, going into the 5th. 6-6. If I just had to guess, I'm thinking the Yankees are not going to win this game. There's no sign to me that the Toronto offense is just going to be held at bay. So, you know, if you're looking at this game, I still think Toronto's got a good chance of winning this game. Was the Broncos win against the Eagles a signature win? Yes, it was. Boone is not the problem. He is a problem. He's not the problem, but he is a problem. I think they need to go in a different direction. I agree, Grant. What do you think of the Kings' point guard troubles this season? They don't have troubles. They got a Dennis Schroeder. That's not a problem. They're very solid at the point guard. Dennis Schroeder is very good. So I don't think they have any point guard troubles. They have a good point guard. His name's Dennis Schroeder. All right? I'm not expecting Sacramento to make the playoffs this year or becoming much better than last. What should I be excited about when watching this upcoming year? That's for you to decide. Jerry, it's so funny, Grant. You were cooking Rhino on the last segment. I was just as surprised as you were. Now, I don't know what Rhino's... His dad gave him a hard time, he told me. All right? Boone is a Hall of Famer. No, he's not. Not a Hall of Famer. What do you want, drugs? Have Dodgers shown they are a more resilient team in MLB with the grinded out wins against the Phillies? They're really good. They got a great roster. They should with the payroll they have. They're really, really good. They're a really good team. That's why they're the defending champs. Boone is a Hall of Famer. Like, you got to be kidding me. Can't be serious. Kings will win 50-something games. Okay, John, keep on smoking whatever you're smoking. Boone's a Hall of Famer. Kings are going to win 50-something games. You have any other great pearls of wisdom that you want to put on the show? that I can help you with? Huh? Let me know. Let me know if you have any more stupid comments you want to make. Because, stupidity is part of the deal. You let me know. Let me know. You got any more stupid comments you want to make? Go right ahead. Put on the show. Unbelievable. Incredible. This is the last year I'm waiting for Murray to improve his offense, if not trade him. Fair enough. I think that's fair. I think he is going to improve his offense. I've been hearing his camp looks great. I don't really go by that, but it's more of a positive than a negative. I think he's going to have a really good year. I think he's going to have a really good year. I really do. I think he's going to be very good. All right. Kings won't win 50 at all, but heck, love your enthusiasm. It's not enthusiasm, it's stupidity. Bob Melvin would be a great fit with the Yankees. All right, finally, there's a message that I agree with. I totally agree. I think Bob Melvin would be. I think Bob Melvin's an excellent manager. I really do. But I don't see him getting the job if Boone gets fired. John says I'm new here. Welcome, John. Don't take anything I say personally, okay? It's just in fun, so don't get upset. Okay? It's the way I roll. Could I see a reunion between Sacramento State and Troy Taylor if disappointing season continues the way it is? It has been disappointing. Losing to Cal Poly last week, I thought they were going to win that game, and they didn't answer the bell. Based only on the offseason, what was the biggest disappointment from the Kings front office? It's a very good question. Very good question. Not enough size, I think, if I had to say. Dorian says, I'm still not a believer in the 49ers, Grant. Despite their record of being on top of the NFC West, the team is resilient, but they aren't a top 5 team for me. He had a lot of injuries, Dorian, and we're going to see what happens when they get some receivers back, when they get George Kittle back. Maybe not. I don't think, Joe, that DeRozan or Sabonis will be traded, but I do think there's a good chance that DeRozan will be. All right? I do think so. Everybody's welcoming John. We welcome you, John. Thank you very much. Grant, after your take on the Singapore airport, I was a little disappointed in the ones that I was in on a business trip. Where'd you go? What were the airports? Where'd you go? Tell me the airports. Hey, don't forget about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines. Call that number on your screen, newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available 24/7. Don't forget New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Said that Sac State has been disappointing this year. I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you. I'm hearing Devin Carter has looked good during training camp. We'll see if he gets on the floor tomorrow, because I don't know how they're going to play all these guards. I really don't. I don't know how they're going to play all of these guards. I don't. What's my favorite rock and roll band? I have many different genres of music that I love. My favorite group of all time is Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love the Doobie Brothers. Obviously, the Rolling Stones. I mean, I love Motown. I love Kool and the Gang. I love the Marshall Tucker Band, Charlie Daniels. I love all kinds of music for the most part. SeaTac and the one in Santa Ana. Well, I thought we were talking international. You can't compare that. You can't compare those airports to the international airports. It's night and day. Yes, it was a sponsor, a promotional. That's what his news was. Waste of time is what it was. Brian says, I haven't got to see any camp video from the Kings yet. There's nothing that you need to see from camp video. It doesn't, nothing. Doesn't tell you anything. If the Dodgers and the Brewers win tomorrow, who would I pick in the NLCS? I would pick the Dodgers. I would pick the Dodgers. That's airport code SANA down in Orange County and SEA Seattle. Pretty easy. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, again, if you want to get in on the show, you can give me a call. You got the QR code above my shoulder, or just send me a chat message, and we can do it that way. Dennis is asking, are you serious, Joe? Wow, how dumb. What was dumb, Dennis? I missed it. Let me go back and look at Joe's comment that you think was dumb. Or is it John? Sorry, John, not Joe. I beg your pardon. No, it was Joe. Sorry. The airport in Tokyo was nice. Which one? They have two. Which one? I've only been to a little bit of South Dakota. I've never stopped there. Joe says, Dennis, I swear, yeah, he chose a different bottle, just a complete waste of time. It's very true. Would I count out the Kings being at least an 8th seed team? I won't say the 8th, the highest. Andre, why don't you watch the season? Like, don't worry about it. Just watch the games. I'm not going to count out anything. The season hasn't started yet. Just watch the games. We'll see what happens. Joe says, I said what LeBron James did for the ad thing, Grant. I know. I didn't have a problem with what you said. Dennis had a problem. I didn't have a problem. Random question. You mentioned that you're a hockey fan. What was your Miracle on Ice story? Where were you? Fondest memories of the team? I had two friends on that team, Kenny Morrow and Mark Wells, that went to Bowling Green. I announced all the Bowling Green hockey games. Mark Wells, his girlfriend and my girlfriend lived on the same floor in the same dorm. The first year at Bowling Green, I saw Mark Wells quite often. And then when I announced Bowling Green hockey, used to hang out with Kenny Morrow and Mark Wells. They were both on the Miracle on Ice. So it was unbelievably cool to watch that with two friends that were on the team. I was at Bowling Green at the time, a national powerhouse in collegiate hockey. And I watched the game against Russia at a big party in a rather large room. And we had a TV brought in. And I remember standing at the party watching the entire game. And it was unbelievable. My brother, by the way, was at Lake Placid during that whole run by the Miracle on Ice team. But I knew two of the guys on the team, which was unbelievably cool. The Joe Flacco trade doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Grant doesn't care if the Kings go 0-4 for the preseason. Why would I care, Dennis? What difference does it make? Dennis, what was the Kings' preseason record last year? What was their preseason record the year they won 48 games? Do you remember? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Said no one should really. You want to see the bad as soon as possible. I don't think you can really take too much out of preseason, good or bad. When the bell rings on the 22nd, that's when you can really get going. I've seen too much preseason basketball over 32 years to learn that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. A lot of the veterans don't want to play in the preseason. They don't like playing in the preseason. They play half speed, so to speak. They're not busting at all. They don't want to play in the preseason. You know? Really cool story. I wish I was live to have experienced a Miracle on Ice. It's the greatest sports achievement in the history of the United States by any team. It was unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. There's never been anything like that in the history of the country. There's never been a story like that with any team that's ever played in this country in any sport. Any thoughts on Odell Beckham's 6-game suspension for PEDs? I don't care. He's not on a roster anyway. I don't care. I have really nothing to say on that, you know? The airport in Tokyo is Narita. It's okay. It's not great. Doesn't stack up to the airport in Singapore or Seoul or Hong Kong or Bangkok. Where else? In Asia. Seoul's better. Bangkok's better. Hong Kong's better. Singapore is much, much better. Those are some of the airports in Southeast Asia. Probably better than the airport in Taipei. Manila is the worst airport in the world. Not as nearly as good as the airport in Shanghai. But it's okay. It's okay. Have I been following the World Cup ticket saga? I am trying to get a ticket to the opening match. And I have been better odds of winning the lottery. I didn't know. Wow. That hard, huh? Man. Wow. Should Jerry hire someone to wave to Dallas Cowboys fans and save $200,000? I'll only charge $50,000. Probably. Yeah. That's right. Only charge $50,000, Dennis. You're a smart business guy. I like that. So it's really that hard to get a ticket to the World Cup, huh? Wow. Do I have an interest in going to Mexico? I love Mexico. Been in Mexico, I don't know, 10 times or more in my life. I love Mexico. Why would you ask me a question if I have any interest in going to Mexico? I love Mexico. It's a great country. Great people. Why would you ask me a question like that? Do I have any interest in going to Mexico? It's a fabulous country. Why does one loss in the NFL so much compared to the NBA? Is it just because of fewer games played in NFL or because the intensity of an NFL game? You only play 17. Every game's huge. You lose a game in the NBA, it's no big deal. I'm not a hockey fan, but I know where I was. I was at MSG watching a Sha Na Na concert, and the crowd erupted chanting USA. How about this? Talking about Olympics, my grandpa and mom went to the 1960 Winter Games at Squaw to root on Norway. I love that. That's good. I think Mike Bibby will do well. I wouldn't go against him. The airport in Manila is the worst airport in the world. Brian says, Grant, I was thinking the same thing. That was really a random question. Yeah, I didn't understand if there was an underlying theme to that question. Why would you ask me that? Yeah, the airport in Manila is the worst international airport I have ever been to. Ever. Probably the worst airport I've ever been to anywhere in the world. It is awful. Awful. Just terrible. Terrible. I mean, it's embarrassing for the country is what it is. It's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. Embarrassing is not a word you'll use when you go to Bennett's. Prime seafood and steaks. Tasty, great, wow. That's what you'll be saying when you go to Bennett's, whether it's Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation. Tell Brian and his staff we said hello, and I'll be going out there in the next coming months. I'll let you know. We'll do another show out there. Prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. Again, go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation or more. That's Bennett's Restaurants. We'll see when I get out there again. I'm not sure yet. All right. What's the best and worst airport in the USA? Well, for years it was LaGuardia, and they have finally gotten everything in order, and it's now very nice. That's hard for me to say. Hard for me to say. When I was doing Bowling Green hockey, how were you able to memorize the opposing team's roster and process who has the puck so fast when you're unfamiliar with the visiting team? When you announce sports, your job is to do your homework and be familiar with the opposing team. And I used to remember names and numbers, and so it was never a problem for me. You would always remember names to number. I never had to look at my roster when I was doing a team, Central Michigan or Ohio State, Ferris State, Lake Superior, Northern Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame. I remember some of the numbers even today. Defenseman on Ohio State, big guy, Bob Mandarich, number 3. Dave Poulin, Notre Dame, 20. Chris Chelios, 25, Wisconsin. Johnny Markle, number 14. Brian Hills, number 10. That was in the 70s. I still remember the numbers. Sack is not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. LaGuardia is not a nightmare anymore. It's now finally done after 50 years. I just went to New York City for the first time this summer, made the mistake of thinking Central Park was the size of Curtis Park and Sac. I got lost in Central Park. It is easy to get lost in Central Park. Favorite airline and plane you flew on? Favorite plane is the Airbus A380. Favorite airline, Singapore Airlines, also on the A380. But the A380 on Emirates is nicer because they got the beautiful lounge if you're flying business class with couches and a full bar and food on the back of the plane. Singapore doesn't have that. Singapore's first-class suites on the Airbus A380, which I've never done, is probably the best first-class product in the world. Emirates has a really good first-class product. They're the only first-class product that has a shower suite on board on the Airbus A380, so you can take a shower. Etihad's apartment is a pretty top-shelf first-class. Never done it. But Emirates and Singapore, to me, if you're going international, their A380, if you're in first class, it's hard to beat that. Hard to beat the suite in A380 on Singapore. It's pretty spectacular. Again, it's regarded as the best first-class product in the sky. Emirates, their 777 first class is, they call it the game changer. It's pretty unbelievable. Doesn't have the lounge on board, doesn't have the shower on board, but the actual suite on their 777, not all of their 777s, but on a number of their 777s called the game changer, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Why would you be terrified of turbulence? Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to be worried about. Virgin, I've not been on Virgin. 787, great aircraft. Dreamliner, very good aircraft. That and the Airbus A350 are great aircrafts. But my favorite plane is the Airbus 380. I love it. Love it. I love it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I know I'm going on a long flight. And number two, I think it's a great aircraft. I did see the Chris Jones play that you were referring to. Yes, I did. Not very good, was it? Premium economy is a good way to go, Lynn. You know, it's not that much more expensive, and it makes a big, big difference to have that extra leg room and a little bit wider of a seat, better service. Premium economy is a good way to go. Good way to go. Is it not a good look for Chris Jones? Plain and simple. Not a good look. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Fox Sports Sacramento. Get you ready for the Kings and the Raptors. Olden Polynice, who is an NBA analyst for Fox Sports, he'll come on with me. Looking forward to that. And we'll talk about the Kings and the Raptors. What else you want to talk about today? What else? Lynn, you know, premium economy is really big when you're going on a longer trip. You know, West Coast to London's only 10 hours. That's not bad. When you're on a plane for 15 hours, 16, 17, 18 hours, like, you know, if you're going from, let's say, the West Coast to Singapore, 16 hours. If you're going from LA to Hong Kong, most of the time it's 15 hours. that makes a big difference. When you can be in premium economy, it's a big difference. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. Everybody's budget is your budget, but that makes a big difference. It's something that I've always tried to do if I'm not able to use my miles. I don't pay for business class. I don't think I've ever paid for a business class ticket. I don't think I ever have. If I fly on a business class, I have enough points that I'm able to finagle and use. I've been to the Philippines only to the airport. Yanks have gone on top 8-6 now on Toronto, so their offensive has come alive. Again, Aaron Judge, the big 3-run homer to tie the game in the fourth. Chisholm did a solo shot to make it 7-6. And then a Yankees single has just given them an 8-6 lead going into the sixth. Is Ja Morant the most self-destructive superstar who could have been the face of the league if he wasn't stupid and immature? It's up there. Up there. The fact that you were on Alaska Airlines, or unless you were over Alaska, is what you're referring to. Sideways and upside down, I'm still here and I still fly. 777 premium economy. Of course they are. Pilot told me commercial jets are tested far beyond the worst turbulence you could ever think of. Of course they are. Speaking of OP, Grant, do you remember the game where Apeja hit a buzzer beater against the Sonics to go to overtime? OP did the famous DX Suck It song before Apeja hit the shot. I don't remember that. Maybe I'll ask him. I don't remember that. Do you think that pilots would go on a plane if they thought that turbulence would bring the plane down? Do you really think a pilot would ever get in a cockpit? I had this conversation with Ryan today. Do you think a pilot would ever get in a cockpit if he thought lightning would bring a plane down? Planes get hit by lightning all the time. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Of course they're tested. Common sense, folks. Common sense. Okay? Common sense. I don't know if there's ever been a plane crash because of turbulence. Now, there's been injuries because of turbulence. That's why they tell you to keep your seatbelt fastened. If you hit an air pocket, you can get seriously injured. If you're up and about or you don't have your seatbelt on, you can have severe injury because you literally come up out of your seat and your head can hit the ceiling if you hit a really deep air pocket. So, yeah, I mean, turbulence can be dangerous if you're not in your seat with your seatbelt on, but it's not going to bring the aircraft down. Best airport I visited, it's not even close. The airport in Singapore, head and shoulders above any other airport in the world. Changi Airport in Singapore, it's the best airport in the world. They're in a class all by themselves. Not even a close second. Not a close second. It's unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. What else you want to talk about before I say goodnight? Don't forget, 3 o'clock tomorrow, Fox Sports Sacramento. I'll be on after the Kings game. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be roughly around 9:30 tomorrow night. All right? No, what happened to Lacey? I think I saw it. Refresh my memory. What happened? I saw it. I didn't even really pay a lot of attention to it. So you'd have to refresh my memory on that. Again, baseball going on. Mariners look like they're going to go up 2-1 on the Tigers. Actually, they have. That game is final 8-4. And the Yankees are up 8-6 over Toronto. Yeah, I'll take calls tomorrow after the game. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. 100%. 100%. So we'll do that. I'll be on right around 9:30, okay? About 9:30. And then we'll be on, we'll see. We'll see. However long you want, we'll go. And that will be not just the Kings, but we can talk about everything. All right? Good night, buddy. You sleep well too, Brian. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody else joining the show. No Kings Court tomorrow morning. Rhino's going to be at shoot around in the morning. We'll have a lot of sound. All right. Oh, you know what? That's right. I did see that. Police say that he was speeding the wrong way, forcing another driver into oncoming traffic and triggering a deadly crash. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did see that. All right. Again, tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Fox Sports Sacramento. And then after the game right here. Well, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, buddy. I'll check it out, Dorian. Thank you very much. All right. Lynn says, I watched more sports in September 2025 than the last 5 years, not counting racing. It's been a lot going on, boy. It's been a lot going on. That's for sure. All right. I'm out of here. Talk to you tomorrow on Fox Sports Sacramento at 3 o'clock. Then right back here tomorrow night at about 9:30 after the Kings game. Might be a little bit earlier. If the game ends early, I'll come right on. So keep that in mind. It might be 9:15. Could be, preseason games don't normally last that long. So keep that in mind. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.